We cried to the skies, and the demons of Earth responded. HFY, Major Lena Ortiz punched the integration code into the orbital command console. Fingers flew across the cracked touchscreen. Civilian radar feeds from fishing trawlers, cargo drones, and weathersats flooded in. Static crackled. She mashed the filter algorithm, piecing together a single picture of the sky above the Pacific. "Chief Park, talk to me," she snapped over the comm. Min Park's voice cut through the hiss from the engineering bay below. "Rails are hot, ma'am. Patched the capacitors with hull sealant and prayer. They'll fire once, maybe twice." Ortiz nodded to herself. The picture sharpened. Dozens of alien hulls hung in low orbit, sleek teardrops bristling with plasma vents. Their task force blocked every launch vector. She traced the lead ship's trajectory. It aimed straight for Hawaii's coastal nets. "Got eyes on them," she said. "Designate primary as Echo 1. All stations sync to my feed." Alarms wailed as the first enemy lance struck. Orbital defenses buckled under pinpoint fire. But Ortiz's jury-rigged net held. She saw it all. The invaders' formation, tight and predictive. On the alien command deck of the Vicari cruiser Dominance, Commander Rackvell savored the hollow display's glow. His task force encircled the primitive world. Human signals flickered weakly below. Scattered, uncoordinated. Perfect for doctrine. "Status," he demanded. Lieutenant Keth Soren straightened at tactical. "Coastal nodes identified, Commander. 5 primary sites. Compliant strike will shatter their chain of command." Rackvell tented his upper claws. Humans fought like vermin, but numbers favored the Vicari Empire. "Execute. Lance the nodes. Broadcast terms. Surrender or burn." Plasma lances ignited. Beams stabbed Earth's atmosphere, vaporizing bunkers along California's coast. Rackvell watched the secondary explosions bloom. Human resistance crumbled under such precision. It always did. Back in the orbital bunker, Ortiz rocked as the deck shuddered. A lance grazed their station. Lights flickered. Dr. Rao, Salim Nadir hunched over his signals rig, eyes darting across intercepted bursts. "They're hitting command nodes," Nadir said flatly. "Coastal grids down. But their comms, patterns repeating, predictive firing solutions." Ortiz gripped the armrest. "Feed it to me." She overlaid Nadir's data on her radar net. Echo 1's path lit up, a ghost trail of probable vectors. The ancient rail platforms dotted the Pacific Rim, relics from forgotten wars, slave to her console now. "Manual timing," she ordered. "Park, prime the Kona array." "Fire on my mark." Park grunted over the line. Rails spinning up. Power at 80%. "Don't miss, ma'am." Ortiz synced the clocks. Alien ship dove into acquisition range. She counted heartbeats. Fired. The railgun barked, a tungsten slug. Accelerated to Mach 20, tore through vacuum. Echo 1's hull sparked. No shields flared. The slug punched clean through the bridge. Rackvell felt the Dominance lurch. Klaxon screamed. "What breach?" Soren's crest flattened in shock. "Kinetic impact, mass driver, from the surface. Echo 1 venting atmosphere. Core breach imminent." Rackvell stared at the holodisplay. The human relic, a rusted tube on a forgotten atoll, had killed his vanguard. Impossible. Their scans showed no such threats. Evasive, reform line. How? Their weapons are chemical rockets and spears. Soren hesitated. They, improvised, Commander, slaved civilian sensors. Timing was manual, lucky. Rackvell snarled, mandibles clicking. Luck. Ends now. Full barrage on that platform. And broadcast again. Surrender. Ortiz watched the kill confirmation bloom on her feed. Echo 1 tumbled, a fireball against the black. Cheers erupted from the bunker crew. She silenced them with a raised hand. "They're reforming," she said. Nadir, decrypt that last burst. Nadir's fingers blurred. Compliance demand. Surrender or annihilation. Standard template. They've used it before. Ortiz's jaw set. No time for speeches. She keyed the open broadcast array. Every band, every frequency the aliens scanned. Clear English. No frills. Task Force Vicari, this is orbital command. No surrender. No terms. Come get some. She cut the line. The bunker fell silent. Park whooped over comms. Ma'am, that's gonna light a fire under 'em. Literally, Nadir added. Enemy lances converged on Kona. The rail platform went dark. Rockvell recoiled from the human transmission. The words echoed in his implant. Blunt, defiant, no negotiation, no fear. His fleet hammered the surface gun, but 2 more slugs streaked up from hidden batteries. One grazed Dominance's flank, shearing a sensor pod. Boarding parties, he barked. Soren, take Razorfang. Secure that orbital station. End this rabble. Soren saluted, pride swelling his chest. Close quarters were Vakari specialty. Humans broke under claw and blade. By your will, Commander. Ortiz tracked the boarding shuttles launching from Razorfang. Dozens, arrowing for her bunker. Air defenses shredded half, but the rest punched through. Seal bays, she ordered. Park, rig the corridors. Nadir, jam their signals. Park's voice crackled. Charges set, ma'am. Welcome mats primed. Bulkheads groaned as grapples bit. Explosive breaches flared. The Kari Marines poured in, tall, chitin armored, claws gleaming. Lieutenant Keth Soren led the breach, pulse rifle sweeping, forward. These soft skins shatter easy. His squad advanced down the dim corridor. Human traps sparked, flashbangs, not lethal. Soren laughed. Deathworlders? Myths. Then the deck erupted. Chief Park's charges blew, collapsing the passage. Rubble pinned 2 Marines. Soren clawed free, crest flaring rage. Push through, he roared. They burst into the command deck. Humans waited, 5 armed with carbines and welders. Ortiz stood at the console, unflinching. Soren leveled his rifle. Surrender, primitives. Your toys fail. Ortiz fired first. Her carbine barked, punching holes in chitin. Park flanked from engineering hatch, shotgun booming. Nadir hurled a jury-rigged EMP grenade. Alien rifles fizzled. Soren charged, claws raking. He slashed Park's arm, drawing blood. Park grunted, swung the shotgun butt into Soren's jaw. Chitin cracked. Death world endurance, Park muttered, pumping another shell. Soren staggered. Humans didn't falter. They bled, grinned, fought dirtier. A bullet clipped his leg joint. He collapsed, optics wide. Ortiz stood over him, rifle steady. Tell your commander, we're just getting started. Rockvell watched the boarding feed cut. Sori's vitals flatlined. His fleet hovered, lances cooling. Humans had turned relics into killers, integrated civilian junk into a net that saw everything, refused terms after strikes that should have broken them. Regroup, he hissed. Orbital blockade holds, but prepare ground assault. Below, Ortiz patched Park's wound with medgel. Nadir, what's their next pattern? Coalition chatter, Nadir said. They're calling reinforcements. She smiled thinly. Good. Let them come. The hollow display pinged. More Vakari signatures blinked into orbit. But Ortiz's net already tracked them. Rails spun up across the globe. Humanity's answer built in the fire. Drop pods hammered into the mud, engines hissing steam against monsoon fury. Commander Rackfell gripped his command perch aboard the lead lander, optics scanning the feed. Lightning cracked the sky over the Philippine storm belt. No human satellites pierced this maelstrom. Perfect cover. His Vakari legions disgorged, 6,000 claws primed for rapid dominance. Secure the beachhead, he signaled. Humans scatter without their eyes in the sky. Troops fanned out, energy lances humming. Rain sheeted off carapaces. Boots sank into sucking clay. Rockvell stepped down last, his personal guard forming a wedge. Scans showed empty coastal roads, abandoned villages. No resistance signatures. Advance to primary target, orbital relay farm, 12 clicks inland. Pride swelled in his thorax. Humans hid in their metal birds above. Ground would break them. Static burst across his comms. Commander, forward squads report flooding. Terrain unstable. Rockvell dismissed it. Earth weather, primitive chaos. Vakari doctrine thrived on precision, not this slop. Pump it dry. Push forward. Major Lena Ortiz stared at the flickering hollow display in her bunker. Red icons bloomed in the storm belt. Vakari drop signatures. Nadir's net had caught them despite the interference. She keyed the ground command channel. All units, this is orbital control. Enemy ground assault inbound, Philippines sector. Comms blackout authorized. 72 hours. Fight decentralized. Rules of engagement. Maximum attrition. Acknowledge burst only. Pings lit her console. Ground commanders confirmed. No questions. Ortiz leaned back, carbine across her lap. Park patched his arm nearby, medgel hardening. Nader hunched over waveforms, isolating Vekari chatter. They're landing blind, ma'am. Storm's our ally. Make it count, Ortiz said. She switched to engineering feats. Flooded tunnels under Manila. Perfect choke points. Park, your team's ready? Chief Petty Officer Min Park tested his shotgun's pump. The slash from Soren's claw itched under the gel, but function trumped pain. Flood teams spinning up. Got civilian pumps, hydraulic cutters from the subway yards, turning water into kill boxes. Ortiz nodded. Go loud when they hit the urban grid. Park grabbed his kit and double-timed to the access hatch. Outside, rain lashed the reinforced doors. His squad, engineers turned ambushers, hauled gear through knee-deep runoff. Davies, spool the big pump here. Rodriguez cut the east tunnel brace, let it sag for tripwire. Floodwater roared from storm drains, turning service tunnels into rivers. Park waded in, chest deep. His cutter whirred, shearing rebar. Sparks danced in the murk. This soup hides us. Vekari step in. We pump it chest high on them, then frag from the ledges. A private cursed as current yanked his footing. Park steadied him one-handed. Breathe steady. We're death worlders. Water's just Tuesday. Pumps thrummed to life, sucking sludge. Tunnels drained to ankle depth in minutes. Booby traps set. Pressure plates wired to claymores. Park sighted his shotgun down the main bore. They come marching. We turn it to gravel. Rackvel's vanguard hit the outskirts. Urban sprawl loomed, crumbling hab blocks, power lines swaying in gale winds. Scouts reported no contacts. Too easy, a subcommander clicked. Rackvel silenced him. Humans panicked under orbital fire. This was cleanup. Claws plunged into flooded underpasses. Water surged ankle-deep, then knee-high. Engineers, clear it. Pumps deployed, standard gear. But levels rose. Impossible. Inflow exceeds capacity. Rackvel crested a ridge, optics narrowing. Human thermal ghosts flickered in the ruins ahead, ambush markers. Clank them, lances to full. Vekari lances seared concrete. Buildings crumbled, but humans didn't break. They darted from shadows, rifles cracking. One squad vanished into tunnels. Rackvel signaled pursuit. Flush them out. Lieutenant Keth Soren reformed his boarding claws on the beachhead, mandible aching from Park's shotgun butt. Medics had fused the crack, but pain lingered. Rackvel's ground push needed specialists. Soren volunteered his raiders, close-quarters experts. We take their bunkers from below, he vowed. Primitives bleed easy up close. His team infiltrated a storm drain, claws scraping ferrocrete. Water sloshed calf-deep. Optics pierced the gloom. Human signs, boot prints, spent casings. Titan formation, blades ready. The tunnel narrowed. Pumps hummed faintly ahead. Human noise. Serene raised a claw. Silence them. His point claw triggered a pressure plate. Claymore roared. Shrapnel shredded carapace. The carry screamed, tumbling into deeper water. Soren lunged forward, rifle barking. A human silhouette popped from a ledge. Shotgun blast pulped his flank guard. Park sighted down the bore. Vekari poured in, taller than specks, chitin gleaming wet. He pumped and fired. Buckshot hammered armor, cracking joints. Rodriguez, flood it. Pumps reversed. Water cascaded from hidden feeds, surging to chest height. Vekari flailed, lances shorting in the torrent. Park's team poured fire from catwalks. Rifles, frags, jury-rigged flares, blinding optics. Soren surfaced, coughing sludge. He slashed upward, claws raking a human leg, blood mixed with water. The human, Park, stumbled but fired point-blank. Pellets stove Soren's shoulder pauldron. Pain exploded. Soren charged, mandibles snapping. You bleed. Fall! Park twisted, shotgun butt cracking Soren's optic stalk. Bleed all you want. We keep coming. He shoved past, cutter whirring to seal the breach behind. Vekari thrashed in the rising flood. Soren clawed for purchase, vision blurring. Humans fought submerged, grinning through bloodied teeth. One surfaced yards ahead, hurling a charge. Boom rocked the tunnel. Soren's squad dissolved. He activated distress beacon and retreated, dragging a limp trooper. "Commander, traps everywhere." They weaponized their mud. Rockvell received the burst as his main force bogged down. Casualties spiked, 20% in the first hour. Tunnels claimed squads whole. Human fire came from nowhere, precise despite the storm. "Regroup at the beachhead," he ordered. "Artillery strike the urban grid." But rails from Ortiz's net answered first. Kinetic slugs screamed from orbit, cratering his forward positions. Vakari landers bucked in the wind, unable to evac cleanly. Rockvell hunkered in a ruined warehouse, rain drumming his shell. Feeds showed humans patching wounds mid-fight, rigging more traps from scrap. They endured losses that shattered lesser species. "How?" he clicked to his staff. "Their doctrine demands surrender now." A sub-officer mandibles trembled. "Death world traits, Commander." "They adapt." Ortiz's bunker shook from distant impacts. Nadir decrypted fresh Vakari signals. "They're pulling back to the beach, calling more pods." She keyed the global net. "Coalition assets, rails hot, target the landing zone." Pings from allies. Indian mass drivers, Australian hypersonics. LinkedIn. No central command needed. Ortiz watched the board. Vakari beachhead pulsed red. Park emerged from the tunnels. Squad halved but intact. He field-dressed a gash on Davy's thigh. "Good work. Back to the pumps. Next wave's inbound." Min nodded, wiping mud from his shotgun. Humans didn't quit. They fixed, fought, folded in with whoever showed up. Rockvell's perimeter buckled. Human projectiles rained. Rails, missiles, even drone-dropped munitions from civilian yards. His legions clawed for dropships amid lightning and mudslides. One lander lifted, only to shear apart under orbital fire. "Evacuate," he roared. Soren staggered into the command tent, leaking fluids. "They turn flood into graves, Commander." "Fight wounded." "Laugh at it." Rockvell stared at the holomap. Storm belt. Safest zone, now a slaughter pen. Humans had predicted it, prepared. More signatures bloomed overhead. Allied fleets burning in. His task force crumbled. Ortiz smiled as the last Vakari pod icons winked out. "Nadir, pattern on Nadir, pattern on those evac signals," Ortiz snapped. Celine Nadir's fingers flew across the console. Alien drone wreckage littered the beach below. Vakari tech, still warm. He sliced into its core dump. Handshake codes spilled out. Authentication bursts for their dropships. Nadir cloned them in seconds. "Got it." Beacon spoofed. "They'll think we're friendlies." Ortiz nodded. Her orbital board flickered with fresh pings. "Link to Park's teams. Feed them vectors." Coalition net lit up. Town militias in garages, jury-rigged launchers. Nin Park crouched in a flooded workshop, rain hammering the tin roof. Vakari power cells, salvaged from a crashed pod, hummed in his gloved hands. Too big for human gear, but perfect overkill. "Clamp it here," Park grunted to his crew. Davies held the artillery rig steady, thigh bandage soaked but tight. They bolted the alien cells to the railgun frame. Sparks flew. Gouges redlined. Human capacitors couldn't handle the surge, but these. Pure fire. "Test fire," Park ordered. The rig bucked. A hypersonic slug screamed skyward, alien-grade power through garage welds. It nailed a Vakari lander mid-lift. Wreckage rained into the surf. Park wiped sweat. Reload. Every town gets one. Ortiz watched the feeds from her bunker. Icons bloomed. Makeshift batteries across the coast. She keyed the global channel. All assets. Distributed depots active. Every town supplies the next. No central hubs. Rails hot on spoofed beacons. Sub-officers relayed. Trucks rolled from villages. Ammo crates, fuel drums. 3D. Printed slugs. No logistics trains to bomb. Just neighbors handing off mid-firefight. Commander Rockvell gripped his command spine. His holomap showed human depots. A joke. Scattered hamlets. All firing. Precision interdiction, he hissed. Target their factories. Surgical strikes. Drones swarmed. Vakari beams lanced down. Clean, efficient. One garage vaporized. Another truck convoy shredded. Rockvell leaned in. Losses confirmed. They break now. Dawn broke. His scope swept the coast. Replacements everywhere. New rails online, spitting alien-boosted fire. Garages rebuilt overnight. human hands welding in the mud. Impossible, a sensor drone chirped. They replaced threefold. Rockville's mandibles clicked fury. Humans fought with losses that shattered Vekari legions. Wounded dragged gear, children hauled shells. No surrender protocols. Lieutenant Keth Soren burst into the tent, armor pitted. Boarding party slaughtered commander. They flood tunnels, fight in black water. One human took 3 blades. Laughed, kept swinging. Rockville stared. Deathworlders. Soft prey turned predators. Ortiz's bunker rattled. A fresh Vekari strikes probed inland. She switched to Park's channel. Chief, your cells holding? Park's voice crackled. Shotgun blasts behind. Overloaded 2 rigs. Fixed with bike batteries. Firing triple rate. Good. Push to the ridge. Nadir's beacons drawing them in. Nadir hunched over his board. Cloned signals pulsed. Vekari dropships homing on friendlies. Pods slammed into kill zones. Rails answered. Supercharged. One pod cracked open. Vekari spilled out. Claws gleaming. Park's team hit first. Shotgun roared. Alien blood mixed with mud. Davies flanked. Grenade from a kitchen printer exploding in their ranks. Soren charged the human line. Vibroblade humming. Pride fueled him. Close quarters his mastery. A human engineer, Park, met him head-on. No fancy armor. Just vest, tools, grit. Soren lunged. Blade scored Park's arm. Human didn't flinch. He bashed Soren's helmet with a power cell. Alien tech as club. Crack! Soren reeled. You adapt, Soren snarled in broken English bursts, translator glitching. Park grinned through blood. Routine maintenance. He fired point blank. Soren flew back, leaking. Rockville tracked the ridge fight, his elite boarding officer down. Humans mopped up, already stripping the dead for parts. Regroup at the beach, he broadcast. Orbital fallback. But Ortiz anticipated. Allied fleets inbound. Nadir, jam their lifts. Nadir fed spoofed codes wider. The Kari landers, confused, half-lifted toward ghosts. Indian mass drivers arced from the horizon. Australian hypersonics skimmed waves. Pods met skyfire. Explosions dotted the coast. Park crested the ridge. Squad lean but firing. He bolted another cell to a wrecked rail. Ortiz, ridge secured. What's next? Coalition push, she replied. Every town a fortress. They hit 110 answer. Rockville evacuated his command skiff. Perimeter gone. Humans everywhere. Replacing, repairing, relentless. A supercharged rail slug punched through his hull. Alarms wailed. Soren crawled from the mud, watching his commander's craft spiral. Humans closed in, eyes calm, no rage, just work, death world endurance. Up close. Ortiz's board cleared. Last Vekari signatures faded. She stood. Nadir. Scan for stragglers. Park. Salvage run. Park keyed back. Already on it. Cells make good bombs too. Rockville's skiff crashed inland. He staggered out. Legions shattered. Human shapes approached through the trees. Not soldiers. With rifles. They fixed eyes on him. No fear. Just purpose. One raised a garage-built launcher. Alien power glowed. Rockville raised claws. Too late. The blast lit the dawn. Rockville's hologram snapped into focus on Ortiz's command deck. Humans of Earth. This is Commander Rockville, Vekari Task Force Alpha. Your primitives fight bravely. Name your negotiator now. Mercy awaits the compliant. Major Lena Ortiz set down her coffee mug. She straightened her uniform and stepped into the projector field. Coalition feeds patched in behind her. Indian orbital relays. Australian sensor buoys. Park's ground teams. No negotiator, she said. Terms rejected. We hold 200 Vekari prisoners from the beach landings. Propose exchange. They're wounded for ours. Rockville's mandibles clicked. His bridge swarmed with officers. You dare bargain? Your cities teeter. Accept subjugation. Exchange first, Ortiz replied. Proof of good faith. Coordinates incoming. She nodded to Dr. Salim Nadir. He uploaded the packet, encrypted locations off Perth, where Park's engineers had secured the captives in jury-rigged pens. Nadir's fingers flew. Spoofed signatures masked the data burst. Rockville paused. Scanners hummed on his end. Accepted. Lieutenant Keth Soren commands the escort. Deviation means annihilation. The hologram winked out. Ortiz exhaled. Nadir, monitor their vector. Park, prep the beachhead. Coalition assets on standby. Copy. Chief Petty Officer Min Park crackled back from the ridge. Pens reinforced. Got those Vicari cells rewired as backups. They'll hold. Nadir's screens bloomed. Their shuttle launches. Single craft light escort. Soren confirmed aboard. Ortiz watched the plot. Vicari lander skimmed atmosphere, weaving through debris from yesterday's railgun barrage. Human prisoners inside. 60 techs and pilots. Battered but alive. Park's voice cut in. Shuttle inbound. My team's got eyes on. Farmers from the inland co-op are pitching in. Rifles slung. Water cans ready. Standard protocol, Ortiz said. Treat them humanely. No incidents. The exchange site bloomed on auxiliary screens. Park's helmet cam fed live. Salt-crusted beach. Vicari wreckage twisted like modern art. His squad formed a perimeter. 17 souls. Half engineers in grease-stained coveralls. Makeshift barricades ringed the pens. Shipping containers lashed with cargo straps, topped by salvaged drone nets. Lieutenant Keth Soren's shuttle touched down. Ramp dropped. He strode out, carapace gleaming, flanked by 4 guards. His helmet recorded. Ortiz knew from Nadir's intercepts. Vicari doctrine demanded it. Soren halted 10 meters out. Prisoners, he barked in halting English. 50 Vicari non-coms. Release humans. Park stepped forward. Rifle low. Line them up. Med check first. Vicari wounded shuffled from the shuttle. Claws bound. Some leaking hemolymph. One clutched a gut wound. Soren's guards prodded them into the open. Park signaled his team. 2 farmers, tanned locals with shotguns, approached the line. They uncapped canteens, offered water. A Vicari rasped and drank. Another nodded thanks. Cameras caught it all. Soren froze. His mandible twitched. What folly. They invaded you. Park shrugged. Thirsty is thirsty. Drink up. Keeps them stable for transport. Ortiz leaned closer to the feed. Nadir patched audio. Soren's voice recorder captured his mutter, Deathworlders. Hydrate enemies mid-exchange. Humans moved efficient. Loaded Vicari into trucks. Rebuilt from beach salvage. Engines purring on biofuel mixes. Park's squad swapped the captives. No shots, no shouts. Soren's guards eyed the farmers. One human tossed a ration bar to a limping Vicari. Eat slow. Stomachs first. Soren boarded last. His shuttle lifted. Recording auto-uploaded to Rockville's net. Nadir snagged a copy midstream. Upload complete, Nadir said. They're reviewing now. Ortiz keyed fleet-wide. Exchange secured. Coalition status. Allied fleets holding orbit, came the Indian liaison. Mass drivers charged. Park. Captives en route to holding. One Vicari asked for tools, said he'd fix our generator. Denied, Ortiz said. But log it. Rockville's mercy channel reactivated. His hologram returned. Optics narrowed. Soren stood at his flank, feeding a data slate. Exchange complete. Rockville growled. Now, negotiator. Or, no, Ortiz cut in. Your move. Soren leaned to Rockville, whispered urgent. The commander stiffened. His claws flexed. You share water, Rockville said, with wounded who scorched your shores. Why? Logistics, Ortiz replied. Stable prisoners trade better. Healthy crews fight longer. Rockville's bridge erupted in murmurs. Soren's recording played on their screens. Humans offering aid like routine maintenance. Softness, Rockville spat. Illusion. You break under true pressure. Test it, Ortiz said. He slashed a claw. Channel severed. Black. Nadir's alarms screamed. Raid vectors. 20 Vicari strike craft. Targeting inland civ centers, farms, towns. Terror pattern. Ortiz gripped her console. Park, bunker down. Nadir, cyber spikes ready. Coalition, intercept vectors. Park's feed shook. Raids inbound. Farmers arming tractors. Generators hot. Screens filled. Vicari darts screamed low. Plasma lancing at villages. But humans answered. Australian hypersonics clawed skyward from hidden pads. Indian drivers hummed. Slugs arcing blind. One raid hit Park's ridge. Vakari pods slammed dirt. Troops boiled out. Park bolted from cover. Squad! Cells to launchers! He yanked a Vakari power cell, wired it to a truck bed railgun. Squad fired. Slugs chewed pods. Farmers flanked. Garage-built drones swarmed. Kamikaze payloads detonating on hulls. A Vakari boarder charged Park. He sidestepped. Drove entrenching tool through armor. Repairs later. Ortiz vectored allies. Nadir jammed their command net. Nadir flooded frequencies. Vakari raids fragmented. Half-bombed empty fields, spoofed by his patterns. Rockville's skiff command feed leaked through Nadir's hack. Ortiz glimpsed it. The alien paced. Soren at his side. They fortify under fire. Every loss. They rebuild. A supercharged rail from Park's ridge punched orbital. Vakari escorts vaporized, perimeter collapsing. Soren reported on the leak. Humans close. Rockville barked orders. Evacuate. Terror phase failed. Regroup orbital. Ortiz's board cleared stragglers. Park. Salvage. Nadir. Track the skiff. Already wiring. Park replied. Cells make fine bombs. Rockville's craft spiraled, hull breached. Alarms wailed on the hack. Soren crawled from mud. His helmet cam caught humans advancing. Calm eyes. No fury. Purpose. Armors emerged from trees. Rifles ready. One leveled a launcher. Alien power cell jury-rigged, glowing hot. Rockville staggered from wreckage. Claws raised. The blast lit new targets on Ortiz's plot. Vakari reinforcements inbound. Coalition fleets tightened formation. Every town a fortress. Ortiz broadcast. They hit 1-10 answer. Her console pinged. Nadir grinned. Their doctrine cracking, but fear in the chatter. Ortiz stood. Humans fought on, replacing parts, sharing water, building under hellfire. The grind continued. Ortiz slammed the execute key. False launch signatures bloomed across her orbital plot. Dozens of them, ghost missiles rising from Earth's battered silos. Vakari task force icons twitched downward, lured into low-orbit kill boxes. They're biting, Nadir said over comms. His voice stayed flat, fingers dancing on cloned beacons. Ortiz watched the alien fleet descend. Her station hummed in the dim command bunker. Screens flickering under recycled air. No panic, just vectors updating. Rockville's reserve squadron committed first. Icons plunged, engines flaring blue against the planet's curve. Last batteries. His intercepted order crackled. Crush them. She keyed Park. Chief, your turn. Debris field hot. Re-entry junk rigged. Park grunted. Static popped. His team welded satellite husks into shrapnel clouds. Stormfront. Inbound. Timing perfect. Ortiz nodded to empty air. Coalition feeds lit up. Allied ships from Mars and Luna tightened echelons. Silent until go. Enemy strikes hammered first. Nadir's spoof kicked in. Cloned beacons yanked Vakari fire onto empty badlands. Dirt erupted in harmless geysers. Real human positions held. Batteries silent. Redirect confirmed. Nadir murmured. Their math's off by 80 clicks. Rockville's skiff feed leaked again, patched through Nadir's hack. The alien commander gripped his console, mandibles clicking. Impossible. Empty craters. Where? Lieutenant Soren's voice cut in. Surface signatures multiplying. Trap. Press. Rockville snapped. Reserves envelope. Ortiz's plot showed it. Vakari hulls slicing atmosphere, friction trails glowing. Perfect bait. Park's voice broke through. Debris away. Storm masking vectors. She switched views. Park crouched in a ridgeline trench, rain lashing his visor. His team, farmers turned sappers, hoisted charred orbital wreckage onto jury-rigged rails. Lightning cracked overhead, Earth's wild front rolling in. Fire on my mark, Park said. He synced timers. Debris clusters spun into re-entry paths timed to shred low-orbit soft spots. Mark hit. Rails spat kinetic storms. Twisted metal hail punched Vakari escorts, hulls vented atmosphere spinning wild. Rockville's feed erupted in alarms. Shrapnel barrage, shields failing, evasive. Ortiz vectored allies, coalition, engage stragglers, Nadir, deep in the jam. Nadir's patterns flooded Vakari nets. Enemy missiles veered into each other, blooms of plasma lighting her screens. From Park's vantage, the sky burned. Debris clouds met the fleet's belly, one cruiser fragmented mid-dive, raining fire on its own dropships. Park's team ducked as chunks slammed nearby, embedding in mud. "Keep welding," Park ordered a farmer with a plasma torch. "Next batch in 60. The man nodded, sparks flying despite thunder. No complaints, just work. Soren's boarding shuttle bucked through the chaos, his squad prepped grapples, claws flexing. "Surface breach imminent," he reported to Rackvell. "Humans scatter under fire. We take the batteries." Pride edged his tone. Vicari doctrine. Close quarters ended soft species. His shuttle grazed re-entry haze, Park's shrapnel pinging off armor. "Minor impacts," Soren growled. "Deploy." They hit dirt hard, ramps slamming open. Mud sucked at claws. Soren led the charge upslope, pulse rifle sweeping. Humans waited in the trench line. Not charging, holding. Park spotted them first. "Orders, 11 o'clock. Flank 'em." His team pivoted seamless. Rifles from civvy hunts, alien cells rigged as boosters. Park hefted his entrenching tool, blade humming with jury-rigged vibro. Bolts scorched earth. Bolts scorched earth. A human dropped, but others crawled forward, dragging wounded. "Endurance protocols," Soren barked. "They break now." His squad closed, claws slashed. One Vicari pinned a human, farmer, by the calluses, but the man twisted, drove a spike through joint armor. Park lunged from blind, tool bit deep into Soren's pauldron. Sparks flew. Soren reeled, mandibles agape. "Deathworlder," he countered, rifle butt cracking Park's helmet. Human stumbled, blood sheeting his faceplate. But Park rolled, came up firing. Cell-boosted round cored the Vicari next to Soren. Squad faltered. Humans pressed, methodical, sharing cover like a drill. Soren retreated, leg dragging. "They fight wounded. Regroup." Park wiped blood, keyed comms, borders folding. Ortiz, orbitals clear for hammer. Upstairs, Ortiz's fingers flew. False signatures peaked. Hundreds now, math from Nadir's models. Vicari dove blind into the trap. Rockvell's reserves hit the debris wall. Kinetic storms ripped engines. Coalition fleet struck then. Rail salvos from allied dreadnoughts, precise as clockwork. Explosions chained. Vicari icons winked out. Rockvell's feed showed panic. He clutched a railing, optics wide. How? Losses exceed thresholds. They rebuild, faster than we kill. Soren crawled aboard a pickup shuttle leaking fluids. "Commander, pull out. These are no prey. They turn our kills to weapons." Ortiz watched the alien fleet fracture. Survivors clawed for high orbit, shedding debris. "Nadir." "Track reserves," she said. "Patterns locked," he replied. "Next spoof ready." Park's voice cut in, ragged. "Site secure, salvaging wrecks. The storm's passing. Next front in 2 hours." Ortiz stood, bunker lights casting long shadows. Her plot cleared partially, but Vicari heavies massed beyond the moon. Coalition chatter hummed, every scrap a battery, every storm a gun. She broadcast wide. "Hold lines. They committed reserves. We turned their junk to ours." Rackvell's skiff limped away. His bridge crew stared at damage readouts. Human signals pierced their nets. Calm reports. Repair logs. Target shares. "Doctrine invalid," one officer whispered. "They thrive in attrition." Rackvell silenced him with a glare, but his claws trembled. Earth's math defied it. Junk plus weather plus human grit equaled fleet killer. Ortiz's console pinged, Nadir's grin audible. Their command nets fracturing, orders conflicting. She sat, plotting the next bait. Reinforcements inbound, but humans prepped, welding, spoofing, waiting. Park sealed a hull breach on a downed Vicari fighter, sparks dancing in rain. "Rig this for orbit punch," he told his team. Farmers nodded, hands steady. Soren's shuttle docked with stragglers. He slumped in medbay, watching feeds. Humans already swarmed the crash sites. No looting. Building. "Never anger Deathworlders," he muttered. First lesson learned raw. Rackvell stared at Earth. Storm swirling like vengeful eyes. Reserves gone. Task force gutted. "Regroup at rally point," he ordered. Voice hollow. "Reassess." But Ortiz's false signatures flickered anew, ghosts rising. The grind escalated. Coalition tightened. Humans answered fire with fixes, losses with layers. Park hefted a salvaged railgun. Ready for round 2, Ortiz smiled faint. Bait set. Let them come. Vicari icons turned back in. Low orbit called. Borders away, Ortiz snapped into the comm. Shuttles punched from the orbital dock, engines flaring blue against the Vicari fleet's return vector. Her console glowed with Nadir's latest hack. Enemy command net glitching, orders looping in panic. Low orbit boiled with dogfights. Human corvettes weaving through plasma barrages, spitting railgun slugs. She gripped the armrest. Risky. Capture their core AI, crack the invasion playbook. Park. You're green across the clamps. Breach on my mark. Affirm, Major. Park's voice crackled back, steady as a torque wrench. Charges prepped from their own missile casings, clean entry. Ortiz watched the plot. Vicari cruisers reformed, claws of destroyers slashing in. Reinforcements? No. Desperate lunge, per fleet, cobbled from civilian haulers, factory drones, volunteer welders, held the line. Nadir's spoofed ghosts drew fire. One shuttle took a hit, spun wild, but the rest latched onto Rackvel's flagship like ticks. Command Corps secured, we own their playbook, she murmured. No genius, just patterns. Humans stacked odds, one fix at a time. Alarms wailed deeper in the Vicari ship. Lieutenant Keth Soren sealed the corridor bulkhead, his squad fanning out behind laser trip mines. Hold the spine, he barked in Vicari clicks. Humans break on contact. Hull shuddered, breaches forward, shuttle clamps biting armor. His visor feed showed them, soft-skinned deathworlders in patchwork vac suits, mag clamps gripping hull plates. No panic. They cut torches in sync, sparks a deadly rhythm. Plasma bolts lanced from Soren's barricade. One human jerked, armor venting, but the wedge pressed. Hand signals flashed, closed fists, points, waves. No chatter. They advanced through their own smoke, stepping over the hole where a mate burned. Primitives, Soren growled. His squad's precision fire dropped 2 more. Should rout them. Doctrine said so. But the humans wedged tighter. Shields up, grenades arcing perfect. One Vicari screamed as shrapnel shredded his leg plates. Soren fired again, nailing a lead boarder's rifle. The human rolled, came up firing from hip, burst stitching his cover. Chips flew. They ignore losses, a trooper hissed. Soren silenced him. Pride swelled. Close quarters his mastery. But these deathworlders fought like habitat rats, endless, adaptive. Bulkhead ahead glowed red. Soren pivoted his heavy gun. Concentrate. Boom. The seal buckled inward. Chief Petty Officer Min Park ducked the pressure wave, his team flowing through the ragged hole. Improvised charges. Vicari warhead stripped, fused with farm-grade det cord, did the trick. No fuss. Wedge left, he signed, voice low. Park. Cover breach. Sparks rained. Enemy fire chewed the frame. Park slapped a patch drone on his squadmate's suit. Quick seal. Back in fight. These corridors reeked of ozone and alien chemlube, but layout matched Nadir's scans. Straight to command spine. A Vicari burst caught his thigh plate. Pain flared. Ignored. He braced his breacher rifle. Posed the choke point. Engineers, stack demo on that nest. His crew, dock workers, riggers, one ex-farmer with steady hands, nodded, rigging satchel charges from scavenged cells. They pushed. Human resilience. Fix what breaks. Keep moving. Park's HUD pinged Ortiz. Bulkhead clear. Advancing. Enemy claws scrabbled behind barricades. One charged. Vibroblade humming. Park sidestepped. Drove elbow into its neck joint. Crack. Then maglocked its weapon for the pile. Rig it, he told the farmer. Next door. Soren retreated. Squad halved. Humans poured through like floodwater, methodical. No rage, just pressure. His comm spat Rackvel's order. Deck purge, core lockdown. Too late? Commander Rackvel slammed the override. Command deck sealed, hatch's iris shut with grinding finality. His bridge crew, survivors claws twitching, stared at the holotank. Human borders mere decks away, slicing through defenses like routine maintenance. Self-destruct primed, he announced. Voice steel, 10 cycles, evacuate if clear, none moved, losses mounted. Task force at 40%, humans at 70%, should have shattered them. Soft species prey math. Consoles flickered. Human signals jammed overrides. Nadir's work, calm intercepts turning his net to chaos. They fight broken, an officer whispered. Rockville whirled. Silence. We trap them here. Core denies. Klaxons howled, deck trembled. Footfalls echoed. Human boots, deliberate. Park's team hit the final lock. Bakari fire pinned them in the antechamber. Cover! He rolled a drone ahead, spoofing vitals. Enemy bolts chased it. His engineers wedged breaching torches. Civilian plasma cutters, overvolted. Heat built, suits held. On 3, Park grunted. Torch leads sparked. Metal wept molten. Soren's remnants bolstered the deck hatch. For the veil! He poured fire, dropping a human at the threshold. But they came on. One dragged a wounded mate by strap, firing one-handed. Signals again. Thumbs up. Points. Endurance. Deathworld truth at arm's length. Hatch buckled. Park kicked through first, shotgun barking. Vicari reeled. Secure the core. His team fanned, zip-tying survivors. No kills unless needed. Coalition rules. Intel first. Rackvell drew his sidearm. Humans breached the bridge proper. Weapons trained. Park's voice cut the din. Drop it. Core's ours. Claws trembled. Rockville complied, pistol clattering. Defeat. Burned. These humans, engineers in vac suits, faces calm, hacked his console mid-fight. Data streamed out. Ortiz watched the feed, Nadir beside her, core captured. Self-destruct aborted. Cheers erupted on the dock. Farmers clapped welders' backs. Coalition hummed. But scopes pinged. Bakari reserves, full battle group, dropped from stealth. Hulls scarred but guns hot. Rockville's glare pierced the pickup. You thrive in attrition. We end it. Ortiz leaned in. Park, rig for tow. Nadir spoofed their fleet net. Bait flipped. Humans prepped layers. Repairs underway. Drones swarming. Worst days? Training ground. Soren, bound in the corner, watched humans work. No gloating. Fixes. Never anger them. He rasped to a guard. The human nodded once, lesson etched. Rockville's reserves closed, earth loomed, storms parting like applause. Ortiz smiled. Let the grind continue. Ghosts rose anew. Ortiz's fingers flew across the console. Red warning screamed. Self-destruct armed. 45 seconds. Park! Core status. Her voice cut through the bridge chatter. Park's helmet cam jerked. Vakari engineers thrashed in zero, claws scraping panels. His shotgun smoked from a fresh breach. Armed and counting, Major. Need that override now. Nader hunched beside her, cables snaking from his rig to the captured feed, their nets locked. Punching through. Ortiz gripped the manual lever. Orbital protocols demanded confirmation codes. None left. The Kari had fried them. She yanked anyway. Sparks flew. The station shuddered. Reactor room venting, Park yelled. His team hauled bodies aside, mag boots clamping deck plates. Air howled out, dragging loose gear into the void. One Vicari clawed at the hatch, eyes bulging. Park zip-tied it mid-flail. Counter hit 0, silence. Abort confirmed, Nadir said. His screens bloomed green. Core secure, streaming their TAC net live. Ortiz exhaled. Cheers rippled across her comms. Dock workers, drone pilots, even the farm crews patching hulls. No time. Scopes lit up. The carry reserves decloaked. 10 cruisers, scarred from prior scraps, weapons charging. Rockville's face filled her main feed. Bridge lights flickered behind him. Human commander. Your boarding denies us victory. My battle group ends it. She keyed transmit. Stand down, Commander. Your task force is neutralized. Evac corridors open on your Vector 047. His mandibles clicked. Reserve surged forward, lasers painting her station's hull. Nadir tapped furiously. Got his feed, broadcasting to all units. Every squad, every gun. Synced. Ortiz nodded. Coalition channels exploded with data overlays. Enemy vectors, weak points. Human assets converging. Farmers diverted ag drones into decoys. Welders hot-swapped missile pods. Park's team jury-rigged the captured core into a power boost. First strikes landed. Human railguns, cobbled from mining lasers, punched through Vakari's shields. One cruiser listed, venting plasma. Rakvel's reserves fired back. Beams raked Ortiz's station. Alarms wailed. She braced as bulkheads groaned. Shields at 40%, her ensign reported. Route auxiliary power, Ortiz ordered. Park, boost incoming. Affirm. Cores purring like a new engine. Nadir's broadcast turned the tide. Human fighters, refitted cargo haulers, swarmed in perfect sync. Vakari formations fractured. A reserve cruiser exploded in a silent fireball. Debris scattering like confetti. Rakvel's eyes widened on feed. Impossible. Your losses should cripple coordination. We adapt, Ortiz said flatly. Pull back. He hesitated. Mandibles ground. Another cruiser crumpled under synchronized drone fire. Humans pressed but held formation. No wild charges. Retreat, Rakvel barked to his fleet. Engines flared. They wheeled toward escape vectors. Ortiz watched scopes. No pursuit orders given. All units, hold fire. Open lanes. Her teams complied. Lasers powered down. Drones peeled off. Vakari ships limped through the corridors unscathed by chasers. Rakvel's feed lingered. You offer mercy? Evacuation, she corrected. Fight's done, he stared, then cut the link. Ortiz leaned back. Nadir grinned faintly. Empire's watching this feed too. Time they learned. She keyed the wideband transmitter. Static hissed, then cleared. To the Vakari Empire. Your task force breached our defenses. We stopped you. Losses mount when you push. Ceasefire terms. Withdraw to neutral space. Formal contact invited. No further escalation. Silence stretched. Then, fleet-wide acknowledgements pinged. Retreat vectors locked. Park's voice broke in. Core towed secure, Major. Soren singing our praises in custody. On auxiliary feed, Lieutenant Keth Soren sat zip-tied amid Park's team. Vac suit torn, he watched humans patch the captured ship. No taunts exchanged, just work. Never anger them, Soren muttered to Park. Park handed him a ration bar. Eat. Talk later. Ortiz switched views. Rakvel's bridge. His officers clustered, replaying the feed. Human repairs mid-battle. Synced strikes from civilian rigs. Endurance after casualties that felled Vakari squads. Death worlders, one officer hissed. They thrive in chaos. Rakvel silenced them. We assumed softness. Attrition broke us. Ortiz's console pinged. Incoming from Vakari command ship. Encrypted, but Nadir cracked it fast. Ceasefire accepted. Contact protocols forthcoming. She allowed a tight smile. Earth filled the viewport, storms swirling below. Coalition hummed. Engineers stacking ammo. Analysts plotting next layers. Farmers fueling drones. Worse days built this. Invaders glimpsed it now. But scopes flickered. Distant signatures. Reinforcements. Ortiz straightened. Grind never truly ended. Park sealed the tow clamps. His team dragged the last Vakari captive aboard the prize ship. Soren shuffled in line, glancing back at the breached core room. Vents still wheezed faintly, frost rimming the edges where humans had vented the self-destruct charge into hard vacuum. Move, Park said, prodding gently with his shotgun barrel. No malice, routine. Soren complied. His mind raced. Boarding doctrine preached quick kills. Clean ends. Humans dragged wounded, fixed under fire, offered paths out. His claws itched for the pistol he'd dropped. Pointless now. On the orbital dock, Ortiz's team swarmed the captured hulls. Welders sparked, rerouting Vakari power grids to human standards. Farmers jury-rigged hydroponics into med bays, pumping oxygen for interrogations. Nadir pulled feeds from Rakvel's retreating bridge. He's filing reports. Humans enforce limits. Fight terminates on objective. Ortiz nodded. Good. Let it spread. Rakvel paced his command deck. Officers bowed low. Reserves docked, crews spilling tails, human engineers ignoring hull breaches, fighters reforming after 50% losses. Soft species? His ex scoffed. They engineered our defeat from scrap. Rakvel halted. The human warning replayed. Terse, precise. No boasts, invitation to talk. Prepare embassy drone, he ordered, under their terms. Earth grew small in the aft view screen. Storms parted briefly. revealing blue oceans, green scars. Deathworld, coalition of killers who chose when to stop, lesson carved deep. Never push the brink unless ready for the grind. Ortiz watched the Vicari fleet vanish into jump points. Her station stabilized, Parks towed, dragging prizes home. Nader archived the feeds. Propaganda gold for the coalition. Next wave? Her ensign asked. She checked long range. Blips hovered at system edge. Empire proper, weighing options. Prep defenses, she said. And the welcome mat. Humans built coalitions under fire. Invaders learned, we fight hard and stop when it's done. But those blips pulsed brighter. Ghosts stirred again.